Hi guys, how you doing today? This is Darrell with Darrell Life Solutions. Today I'm going to get right into it. We're going to talk about people who gravitate blindly to online, basically gravitate to online or any type of social or any type of unique ideology. Now, this is a topic that I was looking forward to discussing, and I'm also considering going live to speak on ideologies that are created online and ideologies that have been going on for I would say generations, for decades, within American culture, and particularly as I can speak specifically about the black community. Now, in the black community, and those that know that I this channel does have an emphasis on the black community at times. In the black community, a lot of the ideologies that I feel that have been a detriment to our community, that people in droves may commit to, are somewhat religious based. Many of them are religious based, and many of them are a reaction to our social, economic, and historical place in this country, or conditions that we have had to adjust to and be resilient towards in the last 300, 400, 500 years. But we have to ask the question. We have to look at the fact that what is so interesting, what is so attractive. This particular video today is going to talk about what causes people to gravitate to this. And so I want to mention one thing, and then I'm going to mention a host of different things. And I think that first and foremost, the gravitation towards ideologies can stem from a sense of lack of belongingness, the sense of not being perceived as normal, or not necessarily being able to socialize in a certain way where you feel comfortable in your own skin and others feel comfortable around you. Okay? So a lot of people who gravitate towards ideologies are looking for a sense of belonging from other people. This is no different from people who decide to join gangs, who join fraternities, who join sororities, people join religious and mainstream religious organizations because of a lack of belonging, a lack of answers to who they are, why they're in the situation that they're in. And in many of those positions, they're in a situation that is not of their liking. Okay? So I think that the foundation of that is wanting to have a sense of belonging, a sense of camaraderie, a sense of belongingness, a sense of being communicative to others who are like-minded, who have common morals, who have common behaviors. You want to find a commonality, and nothing is wrong with that, because it is quite natural for human beings, being that we are social, very, very social and habitual organisms, that we like to be around, or we are stimulated by the interaction of other people. Okay? Or other types of organisms, because people love to interact with even animals, okay, per se. So when we talk about those who gravitate towards ideologies, another commonality that I have found, professionally speaking as a therapist, is that people who gravitate towards ideologies don't necessarily stop at one ideology. Many of these people may hop from one ideology to another, or they experiment with numerous types of ideas and ideologies or frame of thought philosophies. And many of these philosophies are seen in some way counter to their own life experiences. They're looking for something different. They may look at something that is the opposite, or it looks at something that may fit their personality, or something that from a place of rebellion, because usually people who gravitate towards different ideologies and different ways of life and functioning and things like that, people who are more at risk of this type of behavior are teenagers and younger adults. Okay, usually between the ages of, I would say, 18 and maybe their mid to late 20s, are more at risk to gravitating towards ideologies and experimenting with them as a way of self-improvement. Now, the problem with that is that we have to, for those who are necessarily, because everybody adopts some type of ideology, okay? But we also have to look at what are the outcomes in some of these ideologies. And so a person who is vulnerable to this may find themselves being exploited. They may find themselves being mistreated. They may find themselves being involved in a cult-like environment that they think is love, that they think is proper social engagement, because in many situations they have submitted themselves to the ideology, but also the person who is charismatic, a person who is the leader or the barrier and the shepherd of spreading, quote unquote, the good news. Okay? And so people who tend to gravitate, they want answers in life. They want, what I'm currently doing is not working for me. I need to change. I need to restructure my life, my thought process. Where I'm at now has not yielded positive results. So I'm going to drop Christianity to go to Islam. Okay, I'm going to become a Buddhist, or I'm going to hop from one ideology to another, go into Scientology. I may adopt some of the red pill. I may do the blue pill, and all of these different things. So most people who gravitate towards ideologies usually don't just stick with one ideology. They usually may experiment with multiple ideologies until they find something that works. But also the fact of the matter is that there are just a certain percentage of people who like doing things that can be deemed as counterculture. Okay? And so in the midst of people who gravitate towards various ideologies, from a mental health perspective, as a therapist, you can find in some of these people, or a healthy percentage, a lack of self-esteem. Okay? And so due to having a lack of self-esteem, they make an attempt to rebuild their self-esteem through a different process that involves a different mindset, and maybe these ideologies can help a particular person feel more positive about themselves, because a lot of self-esteem is based on outcomes of your behavior, and then those outcomes in your behavior also can be validated by people who witness what you're doing or have a positive perspective of what you're doing. And so it's very easy to get that positive perspective if you are in certain types of groups where everybody think, talk, sleep, dress act the same or look the same. And so if you're doing behaviors that are consistent with the ideology, you're going to get positive responses. And so social media, different applications, have a tendency to attract those who are looking for a purpose, who are looking for a reason to function, who are looking for a reason to, are looking for a way or an avenue to enhance themselves. Okay? And many of these ideologies may have several or one important tenet that can stimulate a person to want to know more, read more, explore, eventually connect with people and see what happens. Unfortunately, people who undergo this type of behavior can be at risk of being taken advantage of and exploited and traumatized by whatever things can come out of that, depending on the group, the situation, the leaders, the whole foundation of what they decide to get into. And because you're going in with your eyes closed blindly and you are accepting, and again, it's a sense of emotional, psychological, and financial submission to a different way of life. And so I hope this video can be a caution to those who find their value not within, but they find their value through the exploration of ideas from others. And there's nothing wrong with educating yourself and adopting certain tenets and principles. However, your self-esteem is better served when it comes within you and you having a sense of loving yourself, not necessarily being validated by ideas and others. Okay? So again, guys, I want to thank you all for being here today. This is D. Durrell with D. Durrell Life Solutions. I hope you all have a great day.